Southern Africa is justifiably renowned for its wildlife and for its biodiversity. In the country's southwestern corner, the Cape Floristic region is notable for its incredible assortment of plant species. 30% of the plants here are found nowhere else on Earth. Amongst these are succulents, plants that store water in their leaves, stems or roots to survive the arid conditions, and they are vanishing due to illegal poaching driven largely by online demand.
It's a massive deal. Illegal harvesting of plants or illegal collecting of plants has been around forever. Why this is such a massive problem at this current time, in the last 4 or 5 years, is the scale, the volume of illegal harvesting that's been taking place. And because of the volumes that are coming through the botanical gardens, we feel that we need to act now as soon as possible.
At the foot of the Hex River mountain range, the Karoo Desert National Botanical Garden hosts a wide variety of arid and semi-arid plants. There's also an ever-increasing supply of seized plants.
Some of the plants are being transported using trucks, so the weighbridges are an indication that there's something suspicious in the truck. So when they do searches, that's when they find these plants.
Emily Kudza works for South Africa's National Biodiversity Institute and was part of the response team that coordinated the country's plan addressing the illegal trade of succulent plants.
Usually we'll get a call from an inspector and saying that, hey, we did intercept some confiscated plants, we're bringing them over, and then they'll be received by our garden manager or curator or even an intern that's based here. We start counting and also identifying them at the same time. We check the state that they're in, and then we then take them to a better location for them to thrive. So in the beginning stages, our survival rate was very little, but over the years we went from only 10% survival rate to now we've gotten about 80% are surviving.
Wildlife trade researcher Dominique Prinsloo has observed a change in the illegal trade in succulent plants over the last few years.
Since 2019-2020, because of things like lockdown, which restricted movement, we found that many foreigners would recruit locals to get involved, and these plants would then be transported to hubs like Johannesburg and Cape Town and exported overseas.
For these international buyers, much of the trade in illegally poached succulents is now taking place online, and it is here where a new innovation is being trialled.
Conservationists, criminologists, botanists, programmers have come together to develop an interdisciplinary approach to combating the illegal trade in plants online, and that is where FloraGuard comes in.
The FloraGuard algorithm aims to protect succulents by scanning online listings for vulnerable and endangered species, identifying adverts for plants that may have been illegally harvested.
So FloraGuard comprises a web scraping, it comprises machine learning and data visualization that allows the user, so be it a researcher or a law enforcement analyst, to be able to track and monitor and extract information on plant species on specific platforms like an e-commerce platform and potentially social media as well. And so with that, it enables law enforcement to have a much better understanding of what is happening online.
FloraGuard was developed by the University of Southampton and the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, in the United Kingdom, who trialled the software with the international wildlife trade organization, Traffic.
We really hope to create more awareness and get it through to as many people as possible that this illegal trade exists, and they can help by supporting legitimate sellers.
Outside the town of Barrydale, along South Africa's Route 62, Edwin Aslander is one such trader who's been actively involved with succulents for over 30 years. Using the principle of conservation through propagation, he aims to reduce demand for wild collected plants by offering ethically propagated succulents, cultivated responsibly to combat illegal poaching and support conservation.
The main thing is making plants available. If there's no plants on the market, then obviously the first thing they will do is collect it themselves. When a plant is rare, it pushes up the prices, and then the incentive of going to poach it is extremely high. If it's available in the trade in fair quantities, then we can keep the price down, and it'll just be cheaper to just buy them and export them. Then they're less likely to come all the way here and take our plants.
Edwin believes that the rarity of many of the plants he grows shouldn't determine their desirability to buyers.
If they want something that is not available at a high price, I think there's a bit of bragging rights involved as well. I've got what you don't have, which is sad really, but that is what we're dealing with.
Looking forward, Edwin believes nurseries like his have a valuable role to play in easing the pressure on rare succulents in the wild.
There's always been poaching, but the last, I would say, 6-7 years, it's on a whole different level. We need to really start producing rare plants on a bigger scale, and not just a few here and there, but good quantities that we can export them and take that incentive away of coming here and taking them out of nature. Okay, they mean they sprouted by themselves?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, bonus.
One customer who makes regular trips to Aslander's nursery is a Cape Town-based filmmaker, photographer, and self-confessed lover of succulents, Philippa Dominguez.
The reason why I come to these kinds of nurseries is because the plants here are so specialized. They occur here and nowhere else in the world, and yeah, I'm just addicted to coming to buy succulents.
Since 2018, she's been photographing plants and exhibiting her images, selling prints and posting her pictures on social media.
I started photographing the plants and I decided to call it Check My Plants, because every time someone came to visit me, the first thing I would say is come and check my plants, because I have so many succulents. And that was just the first thing that came to mind. I didn't think anyone would actually even be interested, I'm not going to lie, it was more for myself. And it just kind of took off straight away, and it just grown and grown.
For Philippa, for Edwin Aslander, and for those in the front line of the fight against plant poaching, the hope is that innovations like FloraGuard, and above all, cooperation, will save the precious plants they care so much about.
So for me, succulents are the most unique groups of plants on the planet. Why? Because it teaches you how to be resilient as a human being, how to survive with little resources, how to overcome. They get hundreds of years old. Why? Because they grow slowly and they've learned how to adapt. It's a message to us as well. How do we blend in as human beings? How do we become part of the landscape and not separate to the landscape? So yeah, that is the reason why I'm hooked on succulents for life.